Oh, just got to get this camera right. Hey, my name's Cole. I go by Trans Spirit. I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about my journey, but also I hope that sharing might answer some questions that you could be having. Whether you're transgender or you know somebody who's transgender, maybe this could help them. I've been out and open as a transgender person for 14 years now. And when I first learned about the word from a friend, I didn't even really know what it meant. I had to go look it up. And I burst into tears because it just finally made sense to how I felt for most of my life at that point, 20 years. I've decided to do this video down here. I don't really know why. I really like my table. Anyway, when I found out what transgender meant, it was a whirlwind of emotions, right? When I went to a doctor about it, they immediately told me that it was necessary for me to have a sex change, and they said that that was the only way I was going to be able to mentally handle it. I talk about this a lot because it's very important to me, and it's important for me to get this message out, because most people, when they see anything about transgender people, they identify it with a sex change. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't always work like that. I'm not somebody who's against sex changes by any means, and I still sometimes think about doing it, but I've always felt in my gut that it is not the path for me, and now I'm seeing more so why that is. When I found out I was transgender, I'd never heard of a two-spirited being or non-binary or non-gender conforming. And that's what if I had to put a label on myself, I'd identify as that. Now, granted, I do still feel like I shoulda, woulda, coulda been born as a male. I am a male. You know, I know people will fight me all day long on that, but that's their prerogative, not mine. It's my life to live, and it's my choice to feel what I feel and have the perspective that I have, and that's my perspective, whether people like it or not. So, you know, I feel this way, but I'm not having a sex change. It doesn't make sense to everybody, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, but you know what? That's life. A lot of things in life don't make sense. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you are realizing you're transgender, or you know someone who is and who's struggling with it and they don't know what they really want to do, please know that you don't have to know. I mean, you don't listen to anyone else's opinion of what you have to do with your life as far as making serious decisions. Now, you can take in their opinion and you can just kind of play with it and think, okay, well, this is what they said, but always go with your gut. Go with what you feel on the inside, because again, it's your life. It's nobody else's life. If you don't feel like a sex change is right for you, or opposite, if you feel like you need to have a sex change and people are telling you not to. I've heard that end of the story too, where people are like putting all this fear-based thought into your head. Oh, what if you regret it? And what if this? And what if that? Yeah, so what if? What if, right? Please know that a lot of people live their life through fear-based thoughts. We've been conditioned to think like that. That's normal in this society, but it's not normal. You know, does that make any sense? So it's like people do think from fear-based thoughts, but it's not healthy. And you don't have to live like that. You can change your perspective. So if people are telling you, oh, don't get a sex change, blah, 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 this could happen and that could happen. If you feel a sex change is right for you, then by golly, have a sex change. It's your life. It's how you want to live it. You can be and do anything that you want to do in this life. And that's the honest to God truth. And I want to share that with you because it just means so much to me. When it finally clicked and I realized I could do anything in this life, I wanted to share it with the whole world. You can create your reality. You can create your circumstances through your thoughts, through your intentions, through your actions. You can choose to not be the victim I chose to be the victim for many years, and I'm going to tell you guys and gals and everyone in between, it didn't get me anywhere. When I finally chose to not be the victim, to be grateful for this life I have, even though I felt I was stuck in the wrong body and everything was a mess and this and that, when I chose to look at it as a blessing as opposed to a curse, my life completely changed for the better. Completely. Like, complete turnaround. No matter how bad things are or how confusing they are, you can always change the road you're on. You can always turn it around. So whether you decide to not have a sex change or have a sex change, or you know someone who's struggling with it, please let them know from somebody who has 14 years out as a trans person and has 34 years of being a trans person, just not knowing it. Take it from me. You don't have to make any decisions right away. If I could go back and tell myself anything, it would be to focus on the soul work. Focus on the inside. Focus on who are you really, despite the body and everything. Stop caring about what society thinks with your body and the way you look. Go inside. Because you could have a sex change and you don't feel any better because you didn't do any of the soul work. You didn't go into your heart space and ask yourself who you really are. It's not a cure-all. It's going to help with gender dysphoria, but you have to go in to yourself and find out who you are. And then the outside will reflect that. Sex change or no sex change. So I just want to reiterate, and I reiterate a lot, that I am pro sex change. I don't want people to think that I'm anti sexual reassignment surgery and hormones just because I haven't done it. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I spent most of my life fixated on not being a guy and all the negative aspects I felt of that. When I learned how to stop focusing on gender and focusing more on my soul and what I'm passionate about in this life, writing, singing, music, my family, when I focused on the positive, things got better. No, I'm not a man, and yeah, I still feel like I should be one, but I'm grateful that I am who I am, and that's the healthy space that I'd always prayed to get to. I went inside, and I found myself, and you know what I found? I'm gender non-conforming. I don't feel like, like I don't have a gender necessarily. I do feel like I'm a guy, but at the same time, as far as society goes, no, I don't feel like I have a specific gender. Because I don't fall into that heterosexual, cisgender male spectrum like I thought I did. I've been brought up female. I have female parts. I know that experience. And instead of acting like it's a terrible thing, which I did for many years, I started to embrace it. I feel incredible. I feel happier than I ever have. And I wish that for everyone out there. No matter what you got to do, don't forget to follow your heart and follow your gut intention. Because that's what we're here to do. That's what we're on this planet to do, is to follow our hearts and to get the work done we're supposed to do. Whether it is to be a parent or it's to of a child. Not a parent, but to be a parent to a child, whether it's to run a company or to write a book or to spread a message. We all have purpose in this life. Find your purpose and you'll be happy no matter what gender you are. I promise you that. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Well, there goes my camera. That's what happens when you don't use a stand.